really passionate about this. You know, we're not, you know, I kind of keep thinking to myself, and the lads keep saying that, I know we did sort of a first year enterprise project last year, but it's all very academic. You know, this thing is real life. Like, you know, we met with accountants, business analysts, solicitors. We'd never dream of that, you know. So we're really passionate about this. So it's good. It's nice. It's good experience.
You've got to work on it.
And the presentation, excellent report as well.
Thank you very much.
The graphics are very strong.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Dragons. My name is Laura Cream, and this is my business partner, Amy Martin. We're here today to ask you for a €15,000 investment from you for our company. And this is our innovative product. Little Green Wheels is an educational toy for preschool children to teach them about the concept of recycling. As you can see from our basic prototype, there are 4 colour-coded compartments: paper, plastic, tin, and food. There's handles on the lids so they can be removed with ease, but they're also attached with a drawstring so they can keep them safe and not to lose them. There's also a picture on the lid and also the name in both English and Irish. Now with these we'll be providing miniature toy products, and the child will be separating them out into each compartment, like so. Now this is actually the educational aspect of the toy. They'll be learning by association how to recycle by putting the different miniature products into the different toys. There'll also be a little colour code on each of the toy products, so to match with the compartments that they go into. Now, there's a door at the side for added novelty for the child, and a pocket here to leave the toy rubbish in. There's wheels on the bottom, so it can be moved around like a toy truck, but there'll also be stoppers on them, so it can keep stationary when necessary. Also on this side, we'll have our logo here, and also we'll have a reward chart, because they have a sense of accomplishment when they're playing with Little Green Wheels, and this is something we see in all creches around the world. Now, the design of Little Green Wheels cannot be patented, but our name, logo, and brand can. And with our marketing team and our design consultants, branding will be our strongest asset. Now, there is nothing like Little Green Wheels on the market, and there is a demand for it. From the extensive market research that we carried out, not only creche owners, but also heads of Galway Childcare Committee, Mayo Childcare Committee, and also the National Children's Nursery Association all believe there's a need for Little Green Wheels today. Now, our route to market. Firstly, we'll start by selling directly to creches and Montessori's in Ireland, in the Republic of Ireland, and also to the Westco online store, which is going live this June. We'll also be selling, they're also a leading specialist in children's educational toys. Next, we'll be selling in trade fairs in both the UK and Ireland, and also in the actual catalogues. So that's Westco again, Smiths, Gold, Hope, and also Neenhus. In the summertime of 2012, we'll be launching directly to the UK creche market, and also we'll be beginning our online sales.
We need your €15,000 investment to be the first mover in this niche market. We've outlined our strategy of where we're going to go with the money, and this will result in a viable product and also sales. We do have potential buyers who are interested, but we can't really expect them to put money on the product without having shown them the safety and quality of the object. As you can see from our basic prototype, there's still a lot to be done. As you can see here also, there's €1,500 set aside for our website. What we plan to do with this is to create an interactive online website whereby our potential buyers can log on to see what exactly Little Green Wheels will do before they purchase the product. Just to take you through a few financials, first of all, our selling price and our profit per unit. These are all guesstimations now at the minute. But first of all, we have our sales to distributor on the left-hand side. This will be to Westco and to Smiths. We will sell to them at approximately €42 per unit. This is going to, when we take away our manufacturing and other costs like overheads and that, this will leave us with a profit of €12 per unit. When we look at our direct sales to our customers, this is our Montessori and our creches, we'll be selling to them at €80 per unit. This selling price is based on market research that we've done around Ireland and from different childcare committees that we've spoken to. This leaves us with a profit per unit of €32.80. The reason for the difference in the selling price from the distributors and also to our direct customers is because for our retail, like our retail price is going to be €80. We want to keep that consistent from every point of sale. And when we calculated both of these, this is how we ended up with the retail price of €80 from both Wesco and Smiths and from us. These figures are relevant now for our first 10,000 units of production, which is going to be our first batch. And after that, the profit will increase because the overall cost will decrease as we increase production. Moving on, we've handed you out a financial spreadsheet, and on this is our cash budget. So we have estimated that our first year overall profit will be €272,468. Also on that spreadsheet, you will see how we've estimated our sales and our sales unit to our various customers. Little Green Wheels is not just a once-off product for the UK and Ireland. We also have a future strategy plan in place. First of all, we want to create an individual version of the unit that we can launch into the mainstream toy market like Smiths and Toys R Us. Secondly, we've hoped to create an industrial version of the product to be launched into schools and creches alike, whereby the children can use actual recyclable materials, normal rubbish, and separate them into the various bins. This ties in with the new market of the high scope approach to preschool learning, which is really popular in the US at the minute and it's gaining recognition here in Ireland and in the UK. The Green Flag programme is known for primary schools and primary school education, but it's currently under review to be implemented into preschools. We've been in many talks with different committees and heads of boards around Ireland, and we've shown them Little Green Wheels and our idea, and they think that it's a perfect complement to be launched alongside this programme when it is in fact launched into the preschool market. Other sister products down the line are going to be our Little Green Wheels lunchbox that have the 4 compartments in the lunchbox, and also a toy bottle bin, similar to this but to separate out bottles. So finally, Little Green Wheels. It's the first of its kind. It's an educational toy that teaches children the concept of recycling, which is fundamental all over the world. Not only does the toy teach children how to recycle and gives them an awareness of their social surroundings, but it also many different aspects like the handles for their motor skills and their language skills and association skills, matching skills, colour skills. There's more to it than just recycling. So Dragons, we need your €15,000 investment because we believe that this is a successful and profitable product and that will be launched straight away into the market. If you have any questions, myself and Laura would be delighted to answer them for you.
Can I ask you the material it's made from?
Now, this is made from Perspex at the moment, but it's going to be made out of ABS plastic, which is used in the manufacturing of the majority of children's toys. It's quite cheap to manufacture and it's environmentally friendly as well.
Okay. So you won't have any points or edges at all?
No points at all. This is the best we could do at the moment. But there won't be any points, and when we set it off when we get the prototype done, it would also go through some testing as well. About 40 tests we found out from an entrepreneur in the same kind of business, and it gets the CE market that way.
Okay. Have you done any testing with that prototype with kids?
We haven't. We actually just received it at 3 p.m. today.
So what age group do you see using that?
Like we said, it's for the creche market, and the creche is between 9 months to 4 years. But from the creches we've talked to, there's usually 3 different rooms, so it'll be used in different ways in different rooms. There's the toddler room, and I think it's 2 to 3, and then 3 to 4 as well. And creches told us they would like to use it as part of role play and interactive role play in each of the rooms.
Have you talked to Smiths about it?
Yeah, we did. We had a meeting with the manager of the store here in Galway. But the way that we're going about it at the minute is to launch it into the preschool market. It's not going into the toy market straight away, because from talking to different creche owners and things, they think that the best way for us to go about it is creche, and it's an educational toy. So we have a meeting coming up with the head of Wesco here in Ireland, because we met with the man's son to help us design our logo and things like that, and we're telling him, he said that it was a fantastic idea. He mentioned it to his father, and we're meeting with his father in a few weeks. So hopefully that will happen.
I'm wondering, you mentioned Smiths and you mentioned the creches, and I'm wondering, is it a toy or an educational type of product for children? In other words,
That's what we were asking last time.
to some extent, You know, I wonder if it were through a sort of a retail Smiths as a toy, if you made it a little sit and ride toy with the things in it, would it be more appealing as a toy? I'm trying to get around. I'm trying to get Smiths and a toy as distinct from a product for an educational type product for a creche or for a preschool.
What we're pitching to you today for the €15,000 investment, it's for an educational product. Our target market is creches and creche owners, preschool institutions alike. It's not for the toy market because at the minute the way the product is, the way myself and Laura see it, originally we did this in the ICE module, we had seen it as a toy and we wanted to launch it into the toy market, but we've completely taken that back. You can see that we have handed you out a proposal. Our target market is the creches, so at the minute it's an educational product. Why we said Smiths is because Smiths do have a catalogue for creches that creches buy the toys from. And then we do hope to launch a version of it into the mainstream toy market, but at the minute
it needs to be adapted when it goes into the individual toy market. Because of course, if we sell this for €80, it's hard for parents. Well, parents won't buy something for €80, so obviously it has to be adapted. Made smaller, probably with not smaller pieces because those sizes are actually quite perfect. It will be a smaller version. But then again, when we are pushing it as a brand, there's many different types to a brand. The more you put in, we want different products to come from it. We don't just see it as this is just one version of it. We see it in...
Just taking up Aidan's question there about is it a toy or is it an actual, recycling bin. With educational toys for kids of certain ages, obviously the criteria is very different because a younger child, you're teaching colour recognition as opposed to the concept of recycling. I'm just curious, have you done any testing on that or even research into?
We'll be doing. It will be used.
Done research.
We have done plenty of research on it, but it will be used in different ways. Like when each creche has a different recycling policy. At the moment is recycling, non-recycling. 2 bins you would pick up in a department store, placed at different sides of the room. That will be done. Whereas this will be used as a certain part of the day after lunchtime. When they come back in, where does this go? Where does this go? And they actually use that in creches. Moving on to it being an actual industrial unit where you put actual rubbish in this.
Yeah, sorry, I get confused here myself now. What you've just described there is actually a functional bin. You said at the end of the day, you put your rubbish away.
No, as a toy, it will be, creches want to use it as a toy in, let's say, the playrooms, not in the kitchen. Because
it will not be, rubbish will actually not go into it?
No, not with this version. No.
It's to...
Well, that was my biggest thing, that at the first meeting we ever had, I was talking about little children putting their hands in and getting,
touching
dirt, so I'm totally confused now. So it's purely a toy?
It's purely a toy. This version will be a toy. And we have discussed this with the head of the Mayo Childcare Committee. It's also part of the HSC. She was telling us that in the creches, if a child puts its hand into the bin and takes it up, they'll obviously, if they don't like it, put it back in again. In creches as well, that they are more supervised than they are in primary schools. We do want to differentiate us from what we presented in our ICE module, that it was from the ages of 5 up, and it will be used in primary schools when they're not looked after that way. But we have looked at that aspect, everything we've taken from the ICE, and it will be an educational toy first, individual toy next, and then it will be incorporated in as an actual bin. They won't mix them up.
Sorry, just go back to the creche. We're under 5 years of age.
Yeah.
Okay. So typically, what age group do you see using this in the creche environment?
About 2 to 4.
So a 2 to 4-year-old, what is the objective, the educational objective?
Firstly, I suppose it would be colour association first.
Okay.
Simply with the pictures and things like that. And that's what the creches said they'll be used for it first. They said that we had to include the words on it because they'll be learning word association, because they have to understand that print means something and to help them sound them out. That will be the first part of it. The next part will have to be with sorting the rubbish into the different bins. So that will be the next part, and the child will be, the creche owner will be there looking after them, teaching them how to do it. And that's the other reason why we're going to have a little colour dot. Like there would be a brown colour dot here to
So, sorry, to put it so for the under 5-year-olds in the creche, this product you see is colour recognition, habit forming,
yes.
not necessarily sort of any cognitive dimension.
Not turning around and thinking, right, now we have to bring this
Exactly.
that's
So it's like any other toy where they have mixed colours and they put the colours into the baskets.
Exactly.
That's the basic concept.
That's the first basic concept with it.
The next concept then is?
The next concept will actually be, I suppose, learning the different kinds, because obviously they'll have to go in different levels. I suppose I have to say we're kind of limited when it comes to the actual implementing program of each creche and how they will use it in different ways, because we're limited in our knowledge when it comes to children. We don't know their different educational programs that they would have there. So maybe next they would probably, I don't know, I suppose I kind of stop there and I don't know what comes after that.
Yeah, I just think like it's a fabulous concept, and I just wonder, again, because you're in a very niche market in terms of educational need,
Yeah.
I think you need to just understand a little more what's going on at that age group.
Are you are you wondering how they're going to actually learn how to recycle from this product?
Well, certainly a 2-year-old is not even going to understand the word recycling, so
No, they
that's
won't.
into it. So this is a very elaborate toy
Mm-hmm.
to distinguish 4 colours,
Yeah.
for example. I would think. No?
It is, but then when you have a 2 to 3-year-old, you have 2 to 3-year-olds in the same room in most Montessori's creches, and some of them, like we went to different scale, different sizes creches and Montessori's to see the different, like how differently the children reacted to different toys and things. And in one of the Montessori's I went to, there was a 2-year-old wandering around and there was 4-year-olds learning Irish in the corner, and they were playing with the same toys that the 4-year-old was playing with. Every single creche in Ireland is going to be different. We can't say that every 2-year-old we want every 2-year-old to learn recycling. We want every 3 and 4-year-old to be learning it. The 2-year-old can be playing with it. It's not, we don't want the creche owner to purchase it solely for the 2-year-old to learn recycling. We want the whole creche to learn how to recycle. And I suppose as the 2-year-old develops, their mind develops, their understanding of words develops, as they move up through the creche, then they can start associating words with rubbish and rubbish with the bin and the bin with its...
But again, I don't know anything about this. Typically, you're not over 5 years of age, you're not in a creche.
No.
So under 5 years of age, typically, do you think that age group are being taught anything at the moment in terms of recycling?
Most definitely, everywhere we went there.
I don't know. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, definitely. All from whatever age they were. There was a 3-year-old taking banana skins out of the bin, and the teacher ran over and said, "No, that's recycling," and then he ran away. But it's a big thing. Like I said, the green flag is being brought back into preschool level because it's needed. It's big. Green ethos is big all around the world. Yeah.
So does it move from being a toy then at the next level to an actual recycling?
That's what we're going
definitely
to
down the line. That was our first concept when it came to ICE, and we certainly wanted to be an industrial unit because, again, with the different creches that we visited, like Amy mentioned, high school, they use wooden toys, they use actual toys, and when we met, she's the head of high school in Ireland, and she said, "I would like this to be an industrial unit because we will use it in this way," and that gave us, not enough initiative to turn around and say, yes, down the line we would like it to be an actual bin.
And one final question at the Hobbit. You mentioned that the unit price is €20, is that right? Or is it 40?
80 euro.
The manufacturing cost is €20, yeah? So it's €20 to produce?
Yeah,
€20.
Based on obviously a volume of what?
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
Making an original mould and running off 10,000.
Yeah.
With the prototype, we estimate the prototype to cost, we've set aside 1,000, was it 1,000?
€500.
€1,500 for it.
Is that what the Pokemon?
No, we won't be using with them. So we had an unofficial mentor, I suppose, in creating this product. It was Adrian Devan from Babo Baby, and he has enough experience in this line of work to tell us how much it would cost. And he was able to give us realistic figures for this. So he said it would cost €15 to produce one of these units in ABS plastic.
We had a debate because I thought €15 was small.
Sorry, is this company in Ireland?
No, it's in China.
China.
And adding on shipping, overheads, import duties, bringing it up to €20, and that's how we moved in the price bracket. We have, more details in the financials that we have today.
Can I just ask you one other question before we close? It has to do really with your initial sales strategy. So you're really talking about direct sales, where you're going to start with a certain target market. How do you actually plan to do that? Is it yourselves? Are you going to have to recruit salespeople? Buy yourself a couple of pairs of shoes and some tires for your car?
Something like that.
I'd say that's
What's your plan?
Trade in my car for a van, first of all, that's what we were told. Me and Amy are pretty ambitious people. We've been working on this idea for about 5 months, and it has changed dramatically in the since we started this competition. And we know that we can make it to the crashes. We know our limitations as well. If we need to bring on more people who are just as passionate as us and can sell it just as well, we will do that. But we plan to visit, there's over 3,000 crashes in Ireland. We plan to visit them all. And having the childcare committees with us, they told us that they are going to recommend it. They can't push it on people, but they can recommend it. And that gives us enough initiative, and should give you enough initiative to turn around and give us the €15,000.
Okay.
Very passionate people. Yeah.
How many items in each bin?
6 to 8.
6 to 8 units.
Depending on the manufacturing cost of each individual unit.
That's included in your €20.
Yeah, no, that is
That would be
that we add
as
as
well.
well. And we just had a roundabout figure of how many, but it depends on the final manufacturing cost.
Some curiosity on my part. How do the doors access? Are they just for an interest?
They're-
that they can open
Again,
doors,
they're
close
just for a
doors?
novelty as well, but
Okay.
also if the product needs to be cleaned as well, it's just for a hygiene aspect as well. You'll be able to open up. I mean, these come out as well.
Business pop-up.
These come out as well, and it can also be cleaned.
I just wonder about physical height of it and say a 1-year-old.
A 1-year-old playing with this.
We imagine them sitting inside the bin, I suppose there's
Whatever about reaching the top of it, are they going to be able to reach into the...
2-year-old.
a 2-year-old.
A 2-year-old would be able to do it. We did have.
There was a lot of this.
There was a lot of this
That's
going on
good,
in Smiths and also in the crashes, but we got the heights from crashes as well. They said about this height. It is what is it? It's 500 millimeters, and then 450 squared.
It's quite a unit. I mean, some of the crashes I know are, and I don't know what you've surveyed, but certainly there's one that a grandson of mine was in, and it's sort of the garage of a house converted. It's very small, and that's quite big. How suitable, in your research, how suitable is the size for the crashes that you talked?
My cousin actually owns a Montessori and she runs it in her house. So she has an open plan kitchen and sitting room, and she has about 20 kids, and it takes up that. And I was asking her, just where's your recycling units? And she's pointed to the corner, and she's 3 big bins stacked in the corner. And I told her about this, and I said, oh sure, would you buy it? And she was like, yeah, definitely. So I could just stick it in under one of the counters, and I could just put it in the corner. And she was like, it's in a square box and it's tidy and neat. So she was up for it. But then that was the industrial version. I suppose we have tried to vary our search in the size. Laura went to a crash that was 3 stories high, and I went to a place that was sitting.
And the rooms are pretty big. I would room about 3/4 this side for simply toddlers, and it was a huge crash with 4 different play areas and the 3 floors, and as well as high scope on top to teach the kids that as well. That's certainly suitable for that.
Can I just be devil's advocate again? I got the thing about the toy versus the commercial thing. Could, as a toy, could that not be a tabletop? Very small tray type. Same effect. It's just it'll be a tray with 4 coloured containers doing exactly the same thing.
It could, but we still need to have a bit of depth in the bins. This isn't going to be the toy one. We haven't designed a toy for the mainstream toy market now. This is the one for the crashes. I suppose we will be looking into a smaller unit, but we still wanted to have the wheels. We are called little green wheels.
Well, I think for the commercial, for the actual recycling bin in your crash.
That you think that it should be just a flat version?
Well, no, I'm thinking that looks good. I wonder about the capacity though, in terms of how much recycling will come out of with those bins be sufficient in size.
Well, as a toy.
No,
as
as
the first time, it's very tiny.
Oh, these actual bins we've used here?
Yeah.
They're something we just picked up in a hardware store.
Yeah.
Just so
This is
that
for the with educational toy version, we haven't, like when we get to, I suppose, further down the line.
one that would be bigger.
Yeah, exactly, because it'll be containing actual dirt and things. So.
All right, guys.
Anything else?
Thanks very much for your
Great amount
time.
of work there.
Thanks a million. Alan, I'm just going to invite the time. Thanks a million.
Thanks, Anne.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Saffron and I'm a final year commerce student. My idea is potato sandwiches. It's kind of like a nostalgic kind of novelty. If it was on an occasion or an event, it would be a once-off kind of purchase, kind of catches the eye, people have the appetite for it, but there's a demand for it. I carried out marketing research on it and 99% of people had a preference. Not a preference, but they wanted a potato sandwich. 60-70% would pay for one, and you can implement a high markup. I mean, to make one sandwich, I think I said it before, it's like 30, 40 cent, 50 cent, and you can get an incredibly high markup even at a good price in comparison to other sandwiches at events. I plan on like targeting like next year the Volvo Ocean Race 2012. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the Volvo last year because I didn't have the idea at the time. And I'm trying to get into the Galway races, but there is a lot of red tape there, I'm not going to lie. And maybe Oxygen 2012, because I think the market is there. Even though the high rents, it would be a high rent, because in the races, Galway races, only 1,500. So with the 15,000 that I would get, I would have 5,000 for fixed and variable costs, and I have 5,000 for cash flow, and I'd have 5,000 left over. So I'd have 1,500 for rent, I'd have 840 for wages, and then some 1,000, 2,000 on stock, and leaflets, and just promoting leaflets, trying to promote the product. And we also developed kind of a brand with potato sandwiches. It's kind of like nom, nom, nom. And I'm thinking of bringing in the whole nostalgic and the nom, trying to create a brand, maybe trademark it as nostalgic foods. It's just an idea. And we're trying to create potato sandwiches, but actually bring out a variation with hunky dories and maybe some onions in it, tomato, cheese, whatever they want, and maybe triple decker kind of potato sandwich, so we could bring a markup. And we're thinking maybe $5.50 for like you get, because I'm thinking of going to like a bet place, and maybe offer a free €1 bet. So it'd be $5.50 for a drink, a potato sandwich, whatever they want in it, like onions, tomatoes, whatnot. And they'd get a nice meal deal, kind of like potato of the day, kind of sub of the day kind of offers. And we could bring in extra different kind of products like penny sweets for the kids, and 99 cents for 99-cent penny sweets, and a 99 ice cream, that kind of nostalgic kind of idea. Old kind of factory bringing in the cookies and whatnot, whatever drinks, the refreshments they want. We had them pre-made, so I didn't make too many because I was anxious to get rid of them because they only have a certain lifespan.
So
You know,
can I ask
you know what I
you just
mean?
one key question?
Yeah.
Can you use the word Tato?
Yeah. Can I use it?
Tato is a brand.
Yeah.
It's a registered brand.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of going down the lines of nostalgic foods.
No, but
Straight
just,
change that.
you're going to call yourself, you're going to promote them as Tato sandwiches.
My uncle's friends with the owner of Tato.
Good.
Just so happened, so he contacted him. I only found out last week. So he emailed my idea to him yesterday, Ray Coyle, I think.
Yeah.
And he's going to get back to me, so he thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
basically.
that might be easier to use.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
If you're using potato, if you're using a pen potato, you presumably
We use the brand. It's just
if you're
something.
using a product,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one. What do you
I think it should be, it needs to be checked out.
For example, you see Bailey's cheesecakes.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, that's
That
true.
would be
That's true, that's true.
an extension,
Yeah.
as you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you use?
But like the core product is crisp sandwiches. Like everyone knows them as potato sandwiches. But like I actually tested King's crisps. They're nicer. And the hunky dories, there's a lot of like different kind of ones you can experiment. So I think I might diversify. So I'll be able to avoid any licensing kind of issues. You know, and obviously diversifying would be better because it would attract more consumers as well. That's the idea.
And your initial plan would be this kind of mobile, and you were saying
Yeah.
ocean race and oxygen, and so
Yeah.
to be like a mobile.
Basically
like a store or
wherever,
something.
yeah, not like a shop, a premises.
Yeah, okay.
It's like it's just going to be kind of a big events once off, so the cost won't be as high. You know, as having like a premises that's taken over every day and there might not be customers covering the costs.
A van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Right.
Well, kind of
So
like
instead of
a
somebody
stand.
instead of somebody selling chips, you're
Yeah.
selling.
I'm selling tailor sandwiches,
Yeah.
that kind of idea, yeah, and have it customised.
Fresh.
Yeah, like having like even wearing aprons, trying to, entice the customers, like hats with tailor, even if I